It says the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, IBJJF, is profoundly saddened to confirm that an athlete passed away following a medical emergency at our Chicago event last Sunday. Our thoughts and deepest condolences are with the family, or with the athlete's family, friends, and teammates, and all who were touched by his life. This is devastating. This is a devastating loss for the entire jiu-jitsu community. The medical emergency occurred in the spectator area, not on our mats, so we're not liable. It was on the spectator area. Sorry, reading the context. It happened on the spectator area shortly after the athlete had completed their match. Not during the match. We're not liable. They protected themselves. They still some liability somewhere. I'm not saying sue the IBJJF, but you might be able to get some money out the IBJJF. Nobody ever got money from the IBJJF, but you might. Your family might. Said it happened in the spectator area shortly after the athlete had completed their match. IBJJF staff, along with trained medical personnel and other qualified first responders, acted immediately, sure, utilizing all available life-saving techniques, equipment, and medical protocols in an effort to assist. They cover in a behind. The athlete was transported by ambulance to a nearby hospital. Despite continued urgent and extensive efforts by medical personnel, we were later sadly informed that the athlete had passed away. The IBJJF remains committed to the safety and well-being of all participants and attendees. Where's Anna Carolina Vieta at? They had to force the IBJJF to call the ambulance for her. So this shows that, public outcry can get some results. You guys, if you stay quiet, sometimes nothing happens. But if you make a big storm about it, things gonna change. IBJJF don't want a lawsuit. They know that lawsuit costs a couple $1 million. I mean, remember when that guy got paralyzed? How much did that guy get for that? $20-40 million or something insane? You know what? Something happened to me at IBJJF. I'm calling the BJJ lawyers, them injury lawyers. Come save me. Come get me a check. Let's see. Event staff to uphold the highest standards of care at all our events. Well, I said I couldn't even find the medical tent at the Pans this year. My friend had a good cut. We didn't see no medical staff. Nobody ran to us. Couldn't find nobody. Out of respect for the family's privacy, we will not be releasing future details at this time. We ask our community to join us in the mourning this profound loss. It's sad to hear, man. It's sad to hear. What happened? I believe there's no comments on this one. But don't worry, we're going to go to Reddit to find some comments. Listen, we always going to read some comments on this show. We got to tap in. Was there a secondary post? Oh, that's it. Sad situation, man. I don't like to read this stuff, but I try to educate you guys and educate myself on what's going on in this sport. It says they disabled their comments. What do you think about the response? To me, it seems like a PR move to say things like utilizing all available life-saving techniques instead of admitting. Well, I mean, if they admit that, they for sure gonna get sued. Instead of admitting that they didn't even have a defib at the comp. IBJJF, they can't defend themselves. Says things happen. Invest in AED for your gym. How's that gonna help you at the tournament? It can happen to you at your gym, and CPR won't save you then. If you guys don't know what the AED is, I think most people know what an AED is, but it's kind of like I did a test for one of these. The training. It's they put it on your heart and it kickstarts your heart, bro. Basically, pretty cool. Sorry, guys. You guys know I've been sounding terrible lately. It says having an AED is a great idea, but also understand it isn't a catch-all. Only ventricular fibrillation and pulseless VTAC are shockable rhythms. Otherwise, it is CPR. Even with trained medical professionals, CPR has a pretty low success rate. So it says we had to actually employ an AED a couple of months ago at my gym. It was scary. The guy turned out okay though. Just get one. I believe it's like $1,500. While this instance didn't turn out to be a shockable event, and it eventually wound up as a blood pressure medicine issue, it was so good to have and available. Some of us graybeards here appreciate it. Says it was my understanding that they had an AED and used it, but the real issue was the guy was down for about 5 minutes before CPR was started. Says that's sad. Why was he down so long? Again, I wasn't there at the tournament. I don't know how big it was. It might have been hard to get to him. And just to find the stat, like say you don't know where the 10 is, that's about 3 minutes. Get them to run back. That's 2 minutes. 5 minutes already gone. Says about the best that can come out of this is that people learn CPR. Well, in the IBJJF for your black belt certification, you need a CPR course. I don't know if it's a first aid course, but I believe it is a CPR course. You need a background check, CPR, background check. What else do you need? You need the referee course, and you got to pay like $500. Everybody, we all want to do that, but that $500, $400, $500, we like, screw that. Because I already pay. How much do I pay to compete? Registration fees, membership fees. I really don't want to give them any more money. Masters Worlds, to do Masters Worlds or Jiu-Jitsu-Con, about $200 just about. Just to sign up. $200 to sign up. Entry fees $35 unless you're a black belt, which I better bring my black belt card with me. And then parking $15. They over here scamming us, bro, left and right. We ain't got no more money. And a fly to Vegas, hotel, food, rental car, possibly, or Ubers. You gotta be spending $2,000. Possibly. Just to get down there. And you know them guys going to be gambling. Says, I work with the guy, Masters 4 white belt, won his match, and then sat down on the bleachers to kill time and allegedly went pale and collapsed. Someone says, were you there and was anything out of the ordinary during the match? My brother was there and watched his match because he also worked with him and said it was a typical white belt match, nothing wild. Quan, what's up? Yeah, Quan, and Quan, thinking about Quan, he said you got to have a show you roll or AP gi. That's another $200 right there. You know, you guys know Quan, he got to compete in that show you roll and show you roll belt or AP belt. What's up, Quan? I got my ticket, man. Quan, what about hotels? What should I do? I really don't want to spend too much money. I might just do the cheap hotel. So I did not plan this. This trip was not planned in my budget, Quan. But it's good. It's a good opportunity to be out there. Hopefully I can see Quan if he's not too busy. I'm for sure gonna get some boba though. Quan said he gotta look good competing. Says paramedic here. I just want to take the time to educate y'all. Although having an AED gives people the best chance of survival, it's a Hail Mary. I mean a truly huge Hail Mary. Of all the people who go into who go into and out of a hospital cardiac arrest, only 5% of them get discharged from the hospital neurologically intact. Get an AED in your gym, take CPR class, do what you're trained to do, but remember that we're trying to do something that fails more often than not. Yeah, bro, let me know. Yeah, let me know. Let them know. Says, yeah, so it seems like, it just seems like unfortunate events. Maybe if they got to him in time, but you guys have been to those tournaments. Sometimes there's a lot of people, matches, people screaming. The medic's over there. Somebody broke his arm, broke his leg. Medic over there. And in that 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes at the tournament ain't nothing to, where's he at? Oh, we're trying to run to him. And then CPR itself, doesn't have the highest success rate. So it was just a lot of unfortunate things happening all at the same time, And sometimes it's your time to go. Like, what's up, Josiah? Sometimes it's your time to go, and it just happened to be at the tournament. Which is sad, Says, I feel like every arena and gymnasium should have a defibrillator. That's more so on the whoever owns the gymnasium. How's IBJJF? They don't travel with no defibrillator with them. Says, that said, do you think IBJJF should have their own for events like this, given that it's, well, they should make a note of that when they book the venues. Okay, do they have the medical emergency equipment? Oh, they don't? Okay, we need to have our own. It says, I had to take an online course on how to use them to be IBJ certified black belt. But how's that going to help you if you don't have it? So it doesn't seem, before I thought they didn't have any medical equipment, but it seems like they did try everything in their power from what I'm reading. And like I said, sometimes it's your time to go. You can't not much you can do when it's that. I heard it wasn't immediately. It took some time to get over to him. No AED in sight, no clear emergency situation awareness, no medical staff rushing to the area. We have all been IBJFs, and I know their medical staff is completely underwhelming. Since IBJF is a private company, we don't know the exact figure for annual revenue. I think it's somewhere north of 10 million, maybe north of 15 million per year. But I'm sure it's in the millions. Do better IBJF and hire more trained medical staff. For sure, they need more medical staff. We need more protocols. So this is like the big issue with these private companies. It's not a real federation. There's no board. There's no way for members to interact with the leadership of the IBJJF. Basically, they do whatever they want to do, and we just take it. But if it was a real board, there would be, where you have to run for it. There would be there would be like a vote for the representation for the members of the board. You have more of a say in a real federation. If you join USA Wrestling, USA Judo, well, not really USA Judo, but you're supposed to have more of a say in the dealings of the federation, and you see the numbers, you see where the money's going to, where the money was invested into, and but IBJJF, we don't know. We just gotta calculate that based on competitions, number of competitors, number of members. So it does kind of hinder us a lot. Said he was in his 50s. Yeah, you masters guys, I'm in masters too as well. You guys be quick to jump on some supplements, and you guys don't need that crap. You don't need that crap. You don't need that TRT. Get off that TRT. You don't need that crap. Just focus on your technique. I'm not saying that's what he was on, but you go to Masters Worlds, you're gonna see some shredded up people, more shredded than they were in their 20s. I was asked last minute to come work as a paramedic at this event one year. There was no formality to the job, no contract, and no explanation of the services they needed on standby. Come on, IBJF, do better. And it didn't sound like they had any equipment that I should bring what I thought necessary. All of that combined gave me a bad feeling, so I turned it down. I haven't been to the facility it was held at, so I don't know where the ADs are located, but they should still have had an AD and someone with BLS equipment nearby at minimum. Also, have preferably 2 people trained in BLS and CPR. Yeah, so I mean, they for sure can do better. And, there might be a lawsuit. I don't know.